nominations closed. Distinguished senators-elect, in view of the fact that we have more than one nomination, we are therefore going into voting session. And the voting, according to your rules, will be by open secret ballot. And therefore, what we are going to do is that each senator will be called upon, and a ballot paper shall be given to you, and you will proceed into the cubicle that will be erected here in 2-3 minutes. Cast your vote there, and then drop it in a box that is placed here. That is the procedure.
The moment that Nigerians have been waiting for is here with us. Any moment from now, voting for the senator-elect that will emerge as the president of the Nigerian Senate of the Ninth Assembly will commence. Well, like the clerk to the National Assembly said, it Standing Order 2015 as amended, which says that voting shall be by secret ballots. That is where there are more than one nomination. But if at all there was one nomination, there won't be need for voting. What will just happen is that they will just affirm the nomination of one candidate who has been so nominated. But at the moment, there are two candidates who are standing to take chair as the president of the Nigerian Senate for the Ninth Assembly. Well, the section Order 3 of the 2015 Senate Standing Order states that voting shall be by secret ballot, which shall be conducted by the clerk at table using the list of senators-elect of the Senate, who shall each be given a ballot paper to cast his votes with the proposers and seconders as teller. Now, each senator-elect will be given a paper containing the name of the senators. Now, they will either cast ballot of the Independent National Electoral this election. Electing of the National Assembly, who shall then be president. was succeeded by Senator Abubakar Bukola Saraki. That is the immediate past Senate President of Nigeria's 8th Senate. And that is the 13th Senate of the Federal Republic. That is I beg your pardon, the 13th Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria since independence. And then whoever emerges today will become the 14th Senate President and the 8th from independence. The voting is ongoing. It has to go state by state in alphabetical order, just like how they were called during the roll call. Every senator will have to pick the ballot paper, go to the cubicle, tick his preferred choice candidate, come to drop it in the box. Transparently done. Atmosphere here is very calm. You can see senators-elect all cladded in different colors. Some came in their native attires. You can see former immediate past ministers present, former governors and present governors, the national chairman of All Progressive Congress, Adam Soshomole. They're all there, all in the quest to show that the Nigerian project is peacefully actualized.
Come over. Senator-elect Jika Dauda Aliru. Give it to him. Senator-elect Bukachua Adamu Muhammad. Hold it. Hold it.
Well, the Senate President is mostly described as the pilot of the Senate. He is the presiding officer of the Senate. He conducts plenaries, but in his absence, the Deputy Senate President takes charge. The Senate President presides over sittings of the Senate, including interpretation and enforcement of rules of debate, as well as signing writs, warrants, and subpoenas issued by the body. The President of the Senate does not vote, just like the Speaker of the House of Representatives, except for the purpose of breaking ties. Well, it appears that the President of the Nigerian Senate plays a role closer to that of the Speaker of the House of Representatives in the U.S. Congress. For instance, the President of the Nigerian Senate, like the Speaker of the House of Representatives, presides over joint sitting of the House of Representatives and the Senate. In addition, the President of the Nigerian Senate is second in line of succession for the U.S. government, because the Senate President in the U.S. Congress is also the Vice President. But here, there's a significant departure from that. The office of the Vice President is different from the office of the Senate President. And that makes Nigeria Senate President third in succession of leadership cadre here in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. After this inauguration today, all these senators-elect, their title will now cease to be senators-elect, and they will become senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And remember that once a senator is always a senator. And then as soon as this election is concluded, the winner emerges and declared, clerk to the National Assembly ceases to be in charge of proceedings here in the Red Chamber, and the new boss takes over. Well, since the 6th of June 2019, when the 8th Senate held its valedictory session, the seat of the chair of the Senate has been vacant. But in a short while, that seat will be occupied by the new presiding officer. Well, we have two presiding officers in the Senate, the President and the Deputy Senate President, and the other 8 members of the leadership are principal officers. That is the majority leader and his deputy, the minority leader and his deputy, the chief whip and his deputy, and the minority whip and his deputy. Well, the majority leader in the Senate is the leader of the ruling party in Parliament. Well, party is very significant in politics and affairs of the Parliament world over. And the position of the Senate leader is also very significant.
Senator-elect Moro Patrick Abba. Senator-elect Shetima Kashim. Next. Senator-elect Kyari Abubakar Shaib. Senator-elect Undume Mohammed Ali. No. Senator-elect Honor Sandy Ojang. Senator-elect Oko Rose Okoji. Senator-elect Basi Gershon Henry. Senator-elect Omoagege Ovie Augustine. Senator-elect Wamboshi Peter Oyeluka.
Please hold it.
Senator-elect Manager James Ebiowo. Fold it. Senator-elect Ogba Joseph Obina. Direct them now. Senator-elect Egu Samuel Omiye. Senator-elect Unachi Ama Michael. Senator-elect Odia Ahimiamona Clifford. Senator-elect Alemikena Francis Asekame. Senator-elect Roride Matthew Asag Moriodon. Senator-elect Bamidele Opeyemi Michael. Senator-elect Adetumbi Olubomi Ayodeji. Senator-elect Adeye Clement Adedayo.
Brother.
Senator-elect Onamani Chimaroke Ogbonia. No, the other side. Senator-elect Ekweremadu Ike. Senator-elect Ekweremadu Ike. Senator-elect Utazi Chukwuka Godfrey. Senator-elect Tadimo Philip Aduda. Senator-elect Goje Mohammed Danjuma. The red. Senator-elect Alkali Saidu Ahmed. Senator-elect Amos Bulus Kilawang. Senator-elect Oyewuchi Ezinwa Francis. No, it's not. Senator-elect Hadija Hassan Ibrahim. Senator-elect Sankara Daladi Abdullahi. Senator-elect Mohammed Sabo. Senator-elect Sani Uba. Senator-elect Kwari Suleiman Abdul. Senator-elect La Danjuma Tella. Senator-elect Shikarau Ibrahim. Senator-elect Barao Jibril. Senator-elect Gaya Kabir Ibrahim. Senator-elect Abdullahi Bakia Kabir. Senator-elect Ahmed Baba Keita.
One is loud.
Senator-elect Madia Bello. Senator-elect Adamu Mohammed Alero. Senator-elect Abdullah Yahya Abubakar. Senator-elect Naala Bala Ebe. Senator-elect Yakubu Hosseini. Senator-elect Issa Jibril. Senator-elect Melai Dino. Sunny. Senator-elect Oloriegbe Yahaya Ibrahim. Oloriegbe. Senator-elect Omar Sadiq Suleiman. Senator-elect Omar Sadiq Suleiman. Senator-elect Ashiru Oyelola Yisa. Senator-elect Tinubu Oluremi Shade. Senator-elect Oshinowo Sikiru Adebayo. Senator-elect Adiola Solomon Olamilekan. Senator-elect Almakura Umaru Tanko. Senator-elect Akwashiki Godia. Senator-elect Adamu.
Where peace and justice shall reign. Amen. Please, let's be seated. Your Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR. Your Excellency, the President of Rwanda, I welcome you most heartily to Nigeria, Mr. Paul Kagame. Let me welcome, my Lord, the Honorable Acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, Honorable Justice Ibrahim Tanko Mohammed, Your Excellencies, Executive Governors here present, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation. I'd like to welcome very respectfully former ministers here present, the heads of anti-corruption agencies in Africa, the acting chairman of EFCC and past chairman of EFCC that are here present, our royal fathers, my lord, former president of the Court of Appeal, former INEC chairman, guest speakers, the leader of the APC. I'd like to welcome our guest speaker, former director, Kenyan Anti-Corruption Commission, heads of military and paramilitary organizations, heads of government ministries, agencies and departments, members of the diplomatic corps, captains of industry, members of the press, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is with pleasure and a very abiding faith in nation that I welcome all of you to this special anti-corruption summit as part of our National Democracy Day celebration. The fact that another African president, the president of Rwanda, is here with us gives this summit a continental feel. And this should be because Africa is widely considered among the world's most corrupt places, a fact seen as contributing to the stunted development and impoverishment of many African nations. Corruption could range from the scale of billions of dollars as political grafts to even overspending during campaigns, which will be the focus of this summit. And so, as I welcome all of you, clearly corruption can no longer be viewed as a victimless crime. It is indeed a crime against humanity, which is why our president remains the field marshal of the anti-corruption forces. So even as we move to the next level, the fight against corruption, I'm very sure we will move to the next level. And so, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's therefore my honor and pleasure to welcome the acting chairman of EFCC, very hardworking, dynamic, most times is not smiling, Mr. Ibrahim Mago, to welcome all of us.
Protocol. Your Excellency, President Muhammad Buhari, the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces, Your Excellency, President Paul Kagame, President of Rwanda, my Lord, the Honorable Acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Ibrahim Tanko, Your Excellencies, Executive State Governors here present, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, all service chiefs and Inspector General of Police, the former ministers present here, head of military and paramilitary organization, my colleague, head of anti-corruption agencies in Africa, our royal fathers, my Lord, former president of Court of Appeal, Justice Ayo Salami, former INEC chairman, Professor Atairu Dega, former chairperson and secretary to the AFCC, the former director, Kenya Anti-Corruption Commission, Professor Patrick Lumumba, members of the diplomatic corps, representative of the African Union chairperson, chairman and members of panel of eminent persons of the African Union, head of government ministries, departments and agencies, captains of industries, members of the First Estate of Dream, the press, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, there is no doubt that I am highly delighted to welcome you here to this summit, which is one of the major programs designed to mark the commencement of the second term of this administration. Remarkably, His Excellency, President Muhammadu Buhari has always projected anti-corruption as one of the agenda of his government. So I have no doubt in my mind that the horizon on the fight against corruption is very clear as we move to the next level. Your Excellencies, the theme of this summit cannot be fully appreciated without a quick look at the concept of democracy. Democracy has been defined, classically described as the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Therefore, election should ensure that the principles of democracy form the cardinal point toward good governance, in which the electorate holds certain leverage, while the elected retain political authority of implementing policies. As such, the aspiration of citizens in any democratic society is good governance. However, the principle of democracy has been bastardized over the years by the ruling elite in some countries across the globe. Nigeria, in particular, had a fair share of the unbearable scourge of chronic elite capture syndrome. This has primarily been achieved by manipulating the electoral process, using stolen wealth to subvert the wishes of the people. Electoral spending by politicians is often linked to both inducement in Africa and in our local parlance, both buying. Worthy of note is the fact that whenever one is induced to sell his vote, he automatically loses the moral equilibrium to challenge corrupt tendencies of those elected. On the other hand, vote selling by electorate has mostly been due to several factors, including lack of proper political education, enlightenment. Your Excellency, political parties often induce voters with money because they lack appropriate and realistic policies to convince the electorate to vote them into power, thus breeding multidimensional adverse effect on good governance and creating grounds for corruption to thrive. In this regard, Your Excellency, corruption does not only stifle economic and social benefit due to the citizen, but it also perpetuates terrorism in Nigeria, as numerous studies and empirical evidence available to the EFCC indicates. Your Excellencies, the EFCC understood this very clearly, and in the light of the above, the Commission, for the very first time, Your Excellency, was involved in the process of monitoring illegal cash movement with a view to preventing vote buying during the 2019 general election in Nigeria. To that end, the Commission arrested and arraigned some people involved, and so far, some have already been convicted. This undoubtedly indicates a departure from the past. Your Excellency, the post-mortem of the last election suggests that the activities of the EFCC during the polls drastically reduced the prevalence of voter inducement in this country. Your Excellency, this summit is expected to brainstorm and provide strategic solution to the lingering crisis of pre- and post-election malpractices, particularly as it relates to deploying solemn public funds to perpetuate injustice. The prominent speakers and discussants in this summit have been carefully selected to dissect the issue and suggest a way out. I firmly believe that the resolution will undoubtedly create effective multi-stakeholder cooperation that will curtail electoral practices and, by extension, corruption in Africa. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the activities of the anti-corruption agencies in Nigeria have been remarkable since the inception of this administration in 2015. And this is a reflection of President Muhammadu Buhari's determination to completely eradicate corruption in Nigeria. The achievement of the ESC, for instance, have been very tremendous. The tireless effort of the Commission's officers are made, culminated in discovering multiple convictions and recovery of funds and properties worth billions of naira. The convictions secured by the Commission since the beginning of this administration reflect a positive progression. In 2015, Your Excellency, the Commission secured 103 convictions. In 2016, 194, 2017, 189, 2018, 312 convictions. Your Excellency, from January this year to date, we had 406 convictions. It's not the propaganda. Our cases go to High Court. We follow all the processes involved in court. It can be checked. We don't take cases to magistrate court. They always go to State High Court or Federal High Court. And if you understand the process there, so it's not easy. Excellency, despite this record, corruption remains a challenge in our country. I believe that the fight against corruption requires a multi-stakeholder approach. The private and public sectors are critical players in this regard, and I'm glad some state governors are taking steps to establish institutional mechanisms to fight corruption. However, institutional mechanism alone will not eradicate corruption. We must have the passion and the will to make a difference. The business environment will never be sustainable if we remain sympathetic to destructive art of corruption. Our captains of industries should strengthen their corporate governance policies to reflect practical anti-corruption principles. Those radical reforms are urgently needed for the business climate to attract foreign direct investment. Gradually, this administration, in its anti-corruption drive, has endorsed some policies that will sanitize the business environment. The Executive Order 8, number 8, for the Voluntary Offshore Asset Regulation Scheme, and the Executive Order 6 for the preservation of assets connected with serious corruption and other relevant offenses are all policy initiatives that will aid anti-corruption. There is no better time than now, Your Excellency, for effective collaboration among African states in the fight against corruption, as corruption does not respect national borders. Organized criminal groups have developed intricate channels of illicit financial flows that deprive African economies of crucial resources for development. Such resources end up in safe havens across the globe. The targets set for sustainable development goals will certainly remain a fantasy if we allow corruption across our borders to flourish. We must therefore intensify our effort towards zero tolerance to corruption. Your Excellency, before the just concluded election in Nigeria, we visited some countries in Africa that we suspect our politicians have been covertly laundering stolen wealth. The government of those countries were extremely receptive and helpful. This initiative contributed immensely to the success of anti-vote buying campaign of the Commission during the 2019 general election. And it rekindles my belief in our continued collaboration with other law enforcement agencies across the globe in initiatives that are mutually beneficial. As we move to the next level, Your Excellency, of the war against corruption, the arena will certainly get tougher, real tougher, because we are determined to rid this country of all manners of corruption for the benefit of the current and future generations. We are not oblivious of the fact that corruption fights back, but this threat will not, and it will not. It will only solidify our resolve to make the frontier of anti-corruption war more formidable. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we all have a moral burden, responsibility on the fight against corruption. As such, we must take full responsibility and ownership to the anti-corruption war. Furthermore, we have compiled the achievement of the Commission into a 15-minute documentary, which we will quickly show immediately after this speech. Let me use this opportunity to thank His Excellency, President Muhammadu Buhari, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, for his extraordinary support of the Commission, and salute his resolute principles of non-interference in the anti-corruption war. I also want to especially appreciate His Excellency, President Paul Kagame, the President of Rwanda, who has been a friend of the Commission. This is not the first time. For honoring our ambition. We are delighted. We have made the day. Your Excellency, your leadership style and stance against corruption has been a huge inspiration. Your Excellencies, once again, on behalf of officers and men of the EFCC, I'm very pleased to have you today to discuss how curbing electoral spending will lend value into the fight against corruption. Thank you very much, sir, and God bless you.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, he used the word extraordinary determination for the president. And I'm just thinking, maybe if we also use that same word for him, and if it's not amounting to corruption, can we induce him with another round of applause?
Nigeria and the law
and the law
and the rules of the Senate,
and the rules of the Senate,
and always in the interest of the sovereignty,
and always in the interest of the sovereignty,
integrity,
solidarity,
well-being, and prosperity of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
and prosperity of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
That I will strive
to preserve
the fundamental objectives and directive principles
of state policy
contained in the Constitution